The reality of the situation is that I might very well bury my child.
So, you never know who you're gonna run into in a day. You don't know who you're gonna see, who you're gonna meet, how that's gonna change your life. One of my morning routines, like everybody else's, is to get coffee in the morning. When I met Yvette for the first time, normal conversation. We talked about this, that, and the other. She eventually found out that I'm in the news, so we talk about news all the time, which is great. Then there was this one morning. She asked me what I was covering that day, and I mentioned it was a story about the heroin epidemic. And immediately I could see this look on her face of sadness. So I asked her if she wanted to talk, and we agreed to meet at the local library. We found a quiet place to sit down together, and she told me about what just happened to her son.
I have a son that struggles with addiction. It's been a long struggle. It started when he was about 15 years old, and he's currently 23 and still fighting the battle of his life. I received a phone call in the middle of the night, and my son had overdosed in his home, and the paramedics had to bring him back. He didn't want to talk about it. He just wanted me to sit there with him. But as we were leaving was when I finally broke down and I cried. And I was holding him and he was hugging me. And I was letting him know I wasn't ready to lose him yet. It's like feeling like everything about your life's just been ripped apart. It's that desperate need to get there before it's too late. When the phone rings in the middle of the night, that's where my brain always goes.
So you've been through this before?
I've been through this before with him. This is the third time that they've had to use Narcan to bring my son back to life.
How did he get hooked on this?
The wrong place at the wrong time. He grew up in a really good home. He went to private schooling up until he was 15, 16. And when we put him in public school, he kind of sought out some other people.
Did you know when he did it for the first time?
I had no idea until he was almost 18 and he asked to go to treatment.
How do you not know? I mean, I don't understand how you don't see that.
I think you live in denial a little bit. I knew he was doing some partying. I knew who his friends were. They all hung out in my basement. There was a part of me that felt my kids were safe because they were in my home. He did very well at hiding it. But when he came to us saying that he was addicted to heroin, it was a huge shock to both my husband and I. And there's a lot of small signs that you just don't think of.
Like what?
How much tin foil you're missing in your kitchen. Cotton swabs. Q-tips. Isolation. It's been a long road. It's been several treatment centers, several outpatient programs. It's been several detox centers, and multiple times in jail. If you'd have asked me 10 years ago what I thought of a drug addict, my vision in my head would have been very different. There's many parents like me out here. We still have so much work to do. There's no place that is not affected by the opiate crisis in this country. There's such a stigma for the person suffering, such a hopeless feeling that there's no way for them to get out. I allowed myself to lose friends and relationships because I was ashamed, because I thought I'd done something wrong, that I didn't parent in the right way. And it's not the truth. This is my son's disease, and he has to want to get better. And he has to want to do what it needs to be done to get himself. I can't do it for him. I can't save him. I want him to have a full life. I want him to get married. I want him to give me grandchildren. Shit, I want him to take care of me when I'm old. There's so many people out there living in sobriety that are working it every day. And that's what I want for him.
Do you ever get the feeling like you're just out of options?
No, because as long as he's breathing, there are options. The next phone call could be another one. The next phone call could be the last one. The reality of the situation is that I might very well bury my child. It is a true reality of my life. And it's a true reality of a lot of people's lives. Don't let them ever think that you give up. Because what they really want out there is to know that you still love them.